Alright, so here I am in my office. I'm feeling very inspired because I just recently booked my train tickets for this section hike I have coming up. So I figured I would pack up everything, and then I thought, why not shoot a video? I got it all here in my office. There you see my pack all packed up. It's not closed because I want to do this one-handed. I'm holding the phone, so I got to be able to do everything one-handed. I got my clothing worn. Wait a minute. I'm missing something. Hang on a sec. Gotta grab. There we go. All right, now I got everything. Okay, can't forget a layer. So yeah, I actually had a request from somebody in person, which is a little rare. I get requests online at times on comments and emails. People saying, oh well, can I take a look at your gear? But I met someone in person when I was in transit, and they asked if I could make a video kind of showing all of my gear and all that. And so it's been a while. It's been like a year or so. So here we go. Uh, so I guess we can start over here with the my shoulder bag and the contents that kind of live in there most of the time. In that little bag is my headlamp. Then I have a little knife, lip balm, compass. I'll have maps in there, just some paper maps I'll print out. And my phone, which I'm holding now, that will go in there. This sit pad, this is the Thermarest Z seat. I am a convert. For a while now, I used the kind of generic foam pad. You can see this thin foam pad. It is twice as heavy. I think it's like, I don't know, like 50 grams, which is really not that much anyway. And this one's like 25 grams if I remember correctly, but it is twice as comfortable, twice as warm for a very little weight penalty. So that's going to be my sit pad of choice from now on, probably, except maybe in the summer when I don't need that much warmth or extra cushioning. But yeah, so let's get into the pack and everything. I think I have everything in there, and we'll take out everything. I'm not going to get into the contents of some of the little pouches, but I will go into some detail with some of the things here. Hold on a second, got to loosen that up. Loosen that up. Water bottles. These water bottles I've had for years and years now. Recycled water bottles as per normal. Okay. This is going to be something that some of you ultralight geeks are going to shit a brick over, but in here I have cutlery, and I have a spoon, and you see in there, chopsticks. That's right. I love eating noodles, and for years and years now of eating noodles, I have actually been using a knife too. The knife I take over there, I use that to carve up some wooden chopsticks. And after years of doing this, I enjoyed it while it lasted, but I don't know, maybe getting old, getting lazier. I got a set of some stainless steel chopsticks. They only weigh like 20 grams. It's like 10 grams each for each chopstick. That's my luxury shit for this year. And then, of course, the same old Sea to Summit long-handled spoon. Fits nicely in this little stuff sack that I had lying around, so there's that. Okay. In here, now, I want to also note that this is packed as though I'm in transit. So I'm on the train or bus on the way to the trailhead. There are some changes that I make once I hit the trail, obviously. So let me explain one of those things. So in this is the little stuff sack that I got with the Escape Light Bivy. What this is for my socks. I have two pairs of hiking socks, and I keep the dirty pair separately in this pack, in this little stuff sack, for when because they stink, and I want to separate it from the rest of my clothing, so the rest of my clothing doesn't smell like sweaty old dirty socks. But also in transit, this little stuff sack actually has enough room for my gaiters, because I don't want to wear my gaiters on the train. So my gaiters are in there. Same old gaiters I've been using for years, a Mountain Laurel design. Event gaiters, so there's that. And as we continue, Diddy Bag, I've done a video on this before, which you can look at. Much the same. A little towel, biodegradable soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, tissues, and Alco gel. Yeah, there's that. In this little Cuban stuff sack, I have my ground cover. This is a trimmed SOL space blanket or emergency blanket, whatever you want to call it. Just note, as I've said previously many times, this is not your average space blanket. It's much tougher, more durable than the cheapo space blankets. All right, next up, electronics bag. In this little hybrid Cuban zip bag, I have my Anchor 2 and a cord and a plug. Yeah, that's it. Use that to charge my headlamp and my phone. In this easy to find orange bag, I have first aid and repair kit in here. And over the years, as I've trimmed things down, it's actually, you can see it's quite empty. Maybe I need to get a smaller first aid bag. I might have to look into that. We'll see. Okay, and then stakes for my tarp. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, stakes, and that's it for the front pocket. One thing I will do too, if I overstuff my backpack with a bunch of luxury foods, as I often do, so chips and soy dogs and buns and cookies and all that. If I overstuff it, what I'll do is I'll take my my cook kit, which is in there for now, which is pretty standard, but there's actually room in this front pocket. It's bigger than you'd think, actually. I can actually fit that in there, even with all that stuff that I keep in there. And of course, let us not forget a little mini carabiner with a backup compass and thermometer. All right, there we go. And actually, thermometer. Don't scoff at the little thermometer. It's actually very helpful for gauging your comfort temperatures, especially if you get a sleeping bag and you want to figure out, your comfort, especially if you're getting a quilt or like a specialized type of sleep system. It's good to have. I've gotten good use out of that little thermometer. And as it turns out over the years, I tend to sleep kind of warm. More on that later when I dig out the quilt. Okay, and as you can see with the burn, this is the hybrid Cuban burn, hybrid DCF or whatever you want to call it. There's plenty of space. I've rolled this down a ton. So there's all this space for luxuries. And then what I can do too is if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to like really stuff the sleeping bag in the stuff sack, I can just kind of like push it down there. But I'm a fan of stuff sacks. That's, I know, kind of a no-no in the ultralight community, but I don't care. Certain things I like having order. Let's get in. God, I can't believe it's 7 minutes already. Okay, but we're getting into the pack now, finally. Well, this is just my food bag with some leftover food from my last trip. It's 8 liter Sea to Summit Sil Nylon bag, same bag I've had for years. Inside, we have cook kit, just in a plastic bag. When it gets all dirty and sooty, I can replace that with another plastic bag. So let's put that aside. And as we've seen here, all that room. And you see the foam pad, I won't take that out. But that's the Gossamer Gear foam pad that I will put inside my quilt, under my feet and legs to keep warm at night. This trip I didn't even mention any details, but this next trip is going to be further up north on the High Coast Trail in roughly a month or so. So it's going to be colder than it is down here in the southwest area of Sweden. But I have everything dialed in for that. For example, in this subsack, which is my what do you call it, Enlightened Equipment Torrid jacket, my Puffy jacket is in here. And actually this stuff sack is slightly larger, so it's not, I don't over compress the synthetic insulation so it doesn't get worn out as much. But as I said before too, if I'm feeling lazy and I have the extra space, which I will do after burning through some luxury food, I'll just, throw it in there without the stuff sack. But I like to have a stuff sack. I'm a big fan, and it matches. I like the color too. It matches the jacket. Okay, so there's that. And in here we have rain gear, Sil Poly, rain pants, my trail gear, rain poncho, same old, same old. That's it. Yep, in there. Rain gear is good to have up top. It rains a lot here in Sweden. Next up, shelter system. This is my tarp, which is the Bora Gear 7x9 Sil Poly tarp, and actually something slightly different. Rather than taking my Bora Gear Dimma bivy, I'm going to be taking in my SOL Escape light bivy for warmth. I don't need to have fully enclosed on this one because this is April in northern Sweden. So there are not going to be that many or bugs or maybe no bugs at all. Ticks are not going to come out until I've read that ticks start to come out at +5 degrees, but it's going to get below freezing. The averages are around -2, -3 degrees, if I remember correctly. But this winter and spring have been particularly warm here in Sweden, thanks global warming. But I imagine it will probably there'll probably be I'm going to be there for about a week, and I'm guessing there's going to be a cold snap somewhere in there that might go down to, say, I don't know, -4, 5, 6. I'll be ready though. I have my puffy, I have my layers, I have my sleeping quilt plus the warmth bivy. This SOL Escape Light bivy I've talked about a lot, and I get lots of questions about it online. But yeah, it's hard to gauge how many degrees it adds, but I have tested my quilt down to around -2, -3, and been comfortable with that and proper layers. Adding the bivy is going to get me down at least to -5, -6, and I'll sleep well. And I can push it down further and sleep not so well, but I'm doubting that a cold snap will get that cold in April. So there it is in a Cuban a DCF Z-Packs dry bag, which I've had for many years. If you take good care of Cuban DCF, it lasts. Especially this thicker 1.0 Cuban. Okay, in we go. Thermarest, regular size, X-Lite, enough said. And there we are. Now the last thing in here, in this rectangular stuff sack that fits perfectly, inside the burn. This is my, I'm not going to take it out, but this is what it's looks like all stuffed up here is I got a custom quilt made by Mr. Ultralight Enchilada. This is, as I said before, I've tested it down to -2, -3. I slept fine, well even, was warm. It's conservatively rated at around, I would say 2 degrees comfort temperature Celsius, or 35-ish. But you can push it down further. As I said before, I sleep slightly warmer with layers. It's like, for instance, with, combined with the puffy and layers. I'll get into the layers in just a moment. I'll be, toasty and warm. And then, yeah, the warmth bivy. Yeah, what else is in here, though? It's not just the quilt. I have stuffed into the foot box of the quilt my merino wool leggings and my hat. I have a Apex, Climate Shield Apex 2.5 ounce beanie, and I have a pillow, of course, in there as well, and that's it. So that's that. That is the contents. If you look at it all spread out here, right, it's actually not that much. It's pretty minimalistic. Tarp and bivy and frameless pack. But then, as I said before, there is kind of a frame with that foam pad, which goes under my legs and feet, and it stays nice and clean in the bag or in my sleeping quilt. So that's that. Did I get everything? Yeah. Update on modification. The modification on the front of this burn still going strong. I really like this easy little clip design. Yeah, I much prefer it to the buckle, which can snag, or this one is just, yeah, speaking of minimalism, I really like this. This thing did get frayed with some use, but I just took you can see a little bit of fray there. I just took a lighter to it and singed it, and it's fine again. Yep. Love this. Favorite backpack I've ever had for backpacking, wilderness backpacking. Love this backpack. 9.5, maybe 9.6, I don't know. Excellent pack. Okay, something I haven't talked about in a while are my layers, my clothing warm. So I thought I would get into that a bit. Here we just have this is a Nike polyester fleece hoodie. I forget the weight. I think it's about 300 grams. I don't really remember, but you can see it packs down nicely when I'm warm. I can pack it in here, and as you saw before, plenty of room. You don't have to buy an expensive fleece. There are like lots of, Patagonia or Melanzana hoodies, and now Palante makes a fleece, and they're all pretty expensive. This is one place you could save money. Yeah, just a polyester fleece hoodie. This is actually a newer acquisition. This is a wind jacket from My Trail Gear. They used to be Go Light gear. On a whim, there was a sale, so I bought the Windbreaker. It's actually a 20D polyester, and I actually much prefer it to my surprise, I much prefer this Windbreaker to my old Z-Packs wind jacket that I had for many years that I really like. But this one I like. It just fits me better. It's size large. They're both size large, but I'm not about to make a whole video on the Windbreaker, jacket. It fits me nicer. There's a cord on the bottom. I like the hood more. There's like a cinch on the hood. It's just, yeah, all around. I even like the feel of the thicker fabric. It's a 20D. For sure it's slightly warmer, but also the feel I just prefer over the nylon. The nylon got a bit sticky. Yeah, and also that when it got dirty too, the nylon after being sweaty, it kind of would retain that. This one I have not had that problem yet. I've used it for, I don't know, like a year. I like it a lot. Okay, some old ass generic nylon. You've probably seen these before if you're a regular watcher. With my DIY Sil nylon knee patch, is still going strong for many years now. All right, another place you can save money. This is just I bought this at Target, I think. This is just a nylon hiking shirt. All right, I think it's a Wrangler nylon hiking shirt. Just, it is what it is. It works really great. I like the color. It's very comfortable. And then I have here, merino base layer, long sleeve shirt. It works nicely because that underneath the nylon kind of, because nylon is hydrophilic, it sucks up the water or the vapor or the moisture or sweat, etc. It like attracts that, but then it dries quickly. And then combine that with the polyester wind jacket under here, and also the fleece. The fleece and the wind jacket are polyester. Polyester is hydrophobic. It does not like water, so it's a nice system. After tweaking my clothing worn for quite some time, I really think I hit, pay dirt here. That this is like really nice. I find it breathes really well, and it also keeps me nice and warm when I bundle up, because it's merino wool plus nylon shirt plus fleece plus windbreaker, and then I can throw on my puffy jacket, and I can be toasty warm and comfortable at various temperatures. The temperatures can change. In the spring, it's famous here in Scandinavia for having crazy weather. Maybe there's snow and -2 one day, and the next day it'll be sunny and +5 degrees or so. So yeah, yeah. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. Merino boxers, merino socks. That's it. Under 20 minutes of me blabbing about everything. My clothing warm, my pack. There's all my stuff. I think I mentioned got everything. I didn't have time to throw together a lighter pack or weights or anything. I just haven't had time. But I'm gonna guess it's in the ballpark of like 9 pounds, or like, I don't know, 3.5 kilos, something like that. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But this is good for 3 season. As I said before, on a cold snap, I will be okay. If the temperatures go, are slightly warmer, I'll be okay. It's pretty flexible, comfortable, plenty of coverage. Yeah, the only thing I would change is that if this was a trip in the south or where there was more bug pressure, I would replace the warmth bivy for the Bora bivy, the fully enclosed bivy. And while that gives you a tiny bump in warmth, not anything compared to the SOL warmth, but then I'm fully protected against bugs. And then when it's bug pressure, usually here in Scandinavia, more bug pressure means it's more temperature, it's slightly warmer. Okay, I said I was going to keep it under 20 minutes, but there it is. You know who you are. You asked to see what's in my pack, and for those of you who have been watching for a while now, you get to see the upgraded kit. There's a few small changes, but generally quite the same. Hope this helps. Hope you guys are getting out there and having happy trails this spring, summer, etc. Take care.